Welcome back to another episode of the Inquisitive Mamba Podcast. This is episode 148. I hope everyone is having a great day, great night, wherever you are around the world. On today's guest for the Inquisitive Mamba Podcast, we have Ben Garcia. His TikTok is Ben Garcia Show. Ben, it's a pleasure to have you on.
What's up, man? It's good to be on, brother. Yeah, it's a busy time of year, but sports world's starting to die down, thankfully.
Yeah.
Because I want to sleep. I have not been sleeping the past couple of days, but it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, if you don't know who Ben Garcia is, he is the host of Locked On Suns podcast. That's correct?
Yeah,
right?
Locked On Phoenix Suns,
Locked On
and
Phoenix.
so I cover the Suns. I cover the Suns obviously very closely, and then my own content as well. I do a morning show at 7 a.m. Ben Garcia Show, where I do a bunch of work there as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, guys, make sure to check his socials out. We'll put those down below once this comes out. And also make sure to follow the Inquisitive Mamba Podcast on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. A lot of clips always coming. There's just so much sports news going on as well as entertainment news. But without further ado, let's get into the show. So, Ben, you had the NBA draft Wednesday night and last night. I don't really know how to feel about this whole draft. I just haven't, to be honest with you, and I want to hear your opinion about this as well. I haven't been excited about the last couple NBA drafts. Like, this one really didn't excite me that much. I know your son's got Kaman Malawach, if I pronounce that right, the whole Kevin Durant trade for you guys to get that pick there from the Rockets. And then, of course, Cooper Flagg going 1 overall. But, what's your biggest takeaway from this draft as a whole from rounds 1 and 2?
Yeah, I'm a bit of a loose cannon, so apologize to your listeners. But that's kind of my brand.
Yeah.
ESPN does a really shoddy job of doing the draft. They do a really poor job. They're looking for, and I guess, it's not a terrible thing, but they're looking for the heartstrings moment for legitimately every single draft pick. And I'm not going to lie to you. I don't really care. Unless there's like a legitimate connection, someone died and, it helped take them to the next level and it helped encourage them, or I get it. His mom's proud. His mom's crying. Good for her. But this isn't her moment. This is her son's moment. And ESPN also just did a really bad job of the second round picks where things were getting traded left and right. And they're like, this is the Golden State Warriors are on the clock, but this is actually going to the 76ers. Like, that kind of stuff is done really poorly.
Yeah.
But that part, I'm not so much is blamed for ESPN because that's the NBA's fault. The NBA won't allow them to put the right hats on, which is like insanity. But overall, I thought just the theatership of it all, I thought it was really good. I thought this year's draft was really good because it was a really good draft in terms of the first 8 players could all make an impact on their team, with Cooper Flagg in a tier of his own, Dylan Harper in a tier of his own, and then there's that next tier of players. I thought it was really good in terms of the drama of it, but yeah, ESPN, to the casual NBA fan, does a really, really bad job at the NBA draft, which is crazy because they do a really good job for the NFL draft.
Yeah, no, you everything you said there is accurate. I think my biggest takeaway from that draft is, I really, aside from Cooper Flagg, because he's the poster boy, everyone knew he was going over number 1 overall. The Mavericks, with the whole thing, they were printing his jerseys on Wednesday night already, number 32. This was all, planned ahead of time with Cooper Flagg. But my biggest takeaway, the drama side of the NBA draft with the first 5 picks, is Ace Bailey. I think he embarrassed himself on a national stage. I really did. I don't know how your agent is allowing you to speak like that before the draft even starts and say, I don't want to work out for those teams. Whoa. You don't have any leisure. You don't have any rope to go and do that. I know you're a great player. You haven't proved anything. So I just really thought that was weird. And then he said he didn't even know the Jazz wanted to draft him, which that was weird. I thought would have been great, just as a drama standpoint, as a comical standpoint, if the Philadelphia 76ers would have drafted him instead of VJ Edgecombe, because Paul George, I'm sure you saw a few days ago, had his thoughts to say about the whole Ace Bailey stuff. You shouldn't be giving demands and stuff like that. Imagine if the Sixers would have done that. But yeah.
So what I would say is I'm all for player empowerment to a point, because these guys make millions of dollars a year. Again, I just don't really care if someone is like Kevin Durant, right? He wanted to go to his preferred destination, the Houston Rockets. My whole thing was trade him to the best offer. Now, it's kind of hard to get the best offer from a team that knows he doesn't want to be there. But if the Raptors are that stupid, trade him to the Toronto Raptors. I care.
Agree. Yeah.
But And it's like, well, Kevin Durant doesn't want to go there. I'm like, okay, what do I care? He makes
Mhm.
$150 million every 2 years, so I'm not
Yep.
really worried about it. But the Ace Bailey stuff was interesting. I'm not upset that he was denying workouts because players do that all the time. Like Walter Clayton Jr. denied workouts with teams past 20
Yeah,
because he had a promise from the Heat that he was going at 20.
which
So
is
like he's
crazy, and he
okay,
didn't
what's
even get yeah.
yeah, it's like what's the point then? And that all that does is make his draft stock higher, and then you have a team like the Utah Jazz jump the Heat to get him, and he makes more money. So like I get that aspect of it. But first off, the 76ers should have always taken VJ Edgecombe. He was just the better player than Ace Bailey. I have serious concerns about Ace Bailey. First off, he was listed at like 6'10 at Rutgers, and now he's like magically 6.
Yeah, he doesn't look 6'10. He didn't look 6'10 to me, which is really
No,
weird.
so that was weird. It was like, why is Rutgers just lying to people about
Mhm.
players' heights? Dylan Harper was the same thing. He was listed as a way taller than he actually was. And at the NBA Combine, both guys were like 4 inches tall or 4 inches shorter, which is obviously a big thing in the NBA. I don't mind him trying to navigate his path if like a team at 10 wanted him,
Mhm.
but at the end of the day, I don't care what you do, but whatever team takes you, like go there.
Yeah.
Because I saw something right now, and I don't really listen to the betting markets
Mhm.
because I think for a large part it's nonsense. But the betting markets was like Ace Bailey's next team, and the Suns were at like plus 400. They were
Of
like the
course.
sixth. They were like the sixth highest one.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm good. I'm good. I don't want him. I do not want him here. That is someone who I am trying to build a culture after the culture here was so bad. So I don't want this guy here because he's already saying he doesn't want to be here. It's weird. He was trying to steer himself away from the Jazz to go to the Wizards. And I don't think,
yeah.
I don't think either organization is like 5-star, but the Wizards are a 1-star organization.
Oh, absolutely. I
So
mean, they just traded Jordan Poole for CJ McCollum with that whole thing there. That doesn't make any sense.
well, there's a lot of different things that doesn't make any sense for the Wizards. They're like people always make fun of the Suns because the Wizards have pick swaps with the Suns
Yeah.
for the first round picks. And I was like, I always tell people, I'm like, okay, yeah. So that would require for the Suns to be worse than the Wizards. And I'm going to go ahead and take 50 years of data that tells me that that's not going to be the case. So I thought it was weird that he was so dead set on going to a dysfunctional organization. The Jazz are right. The Jazz should do everything they can. They just won't trade him. And if Ace Bailey wants to call their bluff and go back again next year, I can almost promise you the dude is going to fall past what he was projected to go because no one wants
100%.
that headache.
No.
Which is weird because he hasn't proved anything. I have serious concerns about Ace Bailey at the next level.
I haven't seen anything from him yet. I mean, this is another thing too from this draft, which I was like, okay, Con Kneppel, right? You can say what you want about him at 4. I thought that was really high. That's just my opinion. But I don't think there was a lot of, I don't see from this class. I just don't see it like that. Like there's been a lot of deeper classes where this one here, I just didn't really see it. I don't know. That's just my opinion. That's just how I feel about it. Like
yeah,
I like him, but I think that's really high. But then again, it's this type of draft.
I like this draft. I thought it was the first 8 guys were all pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I did think what the Hornets did was kind of interesting. Like they traded Malawach away, and then they traded Mark Williams away,
yeah,
and then let Malawach go past them. So it's not even like
Yeah.
they were trying to fill that position. They don't have any backup centers now. Now they're going with Kalkbrenner in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
I like Conkin. He was the best shooter in the draft and the best like shooter / prospect because obviously he's younger too. So
Yeah.
I liked him. I didn't mind that being the pick for the Hornets. The thing is you always have to be questionable. You always have to question what the Hornets do because they're a dysfunctional organization. I'm going to take a swing and say that the Hornets are going to be a top 5 lottery team again next year because they always are.
I'm with you.
So,
absolutely. I mean, listen, they still have LaMelo Ball. He can't stay healthy. You have Brandon Miller who got hurt. He was starting to show signs. He was, definitely starting to play, very well. And now you just dropped Kneppel as well, or Con Kneppel. So that's 3 guards right there. And obviously I know like in the NBA, like, if you shoot really well at a high clip in college, you can play your way into a very high draft pick. We've seen in previous years. I mean, of course you had Grayson Allen, Duke, super athletic. You had, what's his name out of Gonzaga there, Corey Kispert. You had him as well. So like these types of guys that can shoot the ball at a very high clip, and they're not the most skilled, they're not the most athletic guys, but man, can they shoot. They find themselves into a very high draft pick. So that's kind of how I see it with Kneppel there as well. I mean, you saw Dalton Connect, he fell to the Lakers at 17 last year. He could have easily been a top 10 pick. I mean, I thought GMs were crazy to let him fall. The Lakers really haven't figured out what they really want to do with him quite yet. Obviously the whole Mark Williams trade, sweepstakes earlier this year. And now you have him coming back. Maybe he's packaging something this summer. Who knows? But yeah, like you said, I mean, those types of guys play themselves into very high draft picks, and hats off to them for doing it.
Yeah, it was just a weird way of like Ace Bailey moving his way around, and then the Charlotte Hornets. Anytime they draft someone, you're like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
They had back-to-back picks in the 33rd and 34th pick in the second round, and the two, like the number one player, I think on everyone's board was Rasheed Fleming, Rasheer Fleming, who ended up going to the Suns.
Yeah.
But like, how do you not package your picks and go get another wing? Like every team needs a wing, but they stood pat and got Kalkbrenner and some guy named, I think it was Sonny James, who I'd literally never heard of. But that's what the Hornets do.
James, Duke guy. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't in the light for Duke because obviously Flagg, Proctor, Kneppel,
I like Proctor better. That was a guy who I really liked,
and he went to the Cavs. What's his Tyrese Proctor? Yeah. So I want to ask you this though. I feel like a lot of the draft was like just kind of all over the place, but this one here with Portland at 16 with Hansen Yang. Did you see the comparisons with a Blazers Nikola Jokic? I don't even really know who this guy is like that to compare him to that level. You're asking.
Yeah, you're asking the wrong person when it comes to Yang and his comps because he was never someone that I was worried about. I did a lot of scouting. Now, when people say they did a lot of scouting, I did about an hour and a half per player that I watched. That's not very much. So I scouted players from afar, right? Because the Suns, I didn't know. Like they had the 29th overall pick, and then it turns out they had the 10th. So I ended up doing a lot of stuff on players. Yang I never got around to because I never thought he was going to go that high or be there for the Suns at 29. So that was interesting. Definitely a player. It's kind of funny to be able to watch because maybe he is like that next guy, but he's aggressive, throw it and passes the ball at a super high clip. But I don't even think that's like the Jokic thing. I think teams are asking big men to do more than they used to do in the early 2000s, in the late 2000s when I was growing up watching basketball. It was like there was for every Yao Ming and Dwight Howard and like all these certain types of guys, Shaq. Now they're asking players to pass, shoot. They want you to do everything. The real world isn't much different than the NBA. The reason why I shoot my own show, I edit my own show, I make all the social media clips, I do all this extra stuff. Like,
it's a lot of work.
Because if someone asks me, hey, have you ever edited social media clips? I can be like, yep.
Yeah, I have.
Or like, have you ever done thumbnails? Yep.
Yep, I have.
Because in the real world, they want you to be able to do everything. They don't want you to just be able to talk because they'd rather pay you $80,000 a year to do 5 different jobs than $100,000 a year to 5 different people, $20,000 each to do a job in their own. Like they'd rather just have me do it all. So that's a little, advice to everyone. It doesn't matter what realm you're in. Journalism, broadcasting, NBA, like do more, not less.
I edit all my own content too, so I totally understand. And that's why I was going to ask you about that as well. So like, listen, I'm with you on that level there as well. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this just a weird draft, really. I mean, we'll briefly talk about this here. My Florida Gators, being alumni from there, I thought it was awesome to see. I thought they were.
Where are you based?
I'm based in Fort Myers. I'm based in Florida. Yeah. So
okay, so you are in Florida. So you're gonna like this. I'm a bandwagon Florida Gators fan.
Oh, let's go.
Because I'm an ASU, so I'm an all Arizona guy.
Yeah, I
saw
that.
ASU, Suns, like I'm all this stuff and there's not very many of us. But for the longest time, I was a bandwagon Gators fan. Okay. And I still am.
All right.
Because
we love it.
Of Tim Tebow back in 2007, 2008 when they were winning the back-to-back national championship games. Because ASU, or at that point I was actually a U of A fan, but then I ended up going to ASU and I switched my allegiances. But U of A or ASU never had a shot of making the BCS national championship game. No. It wasn't until the playoff, and it wasn't until they expanded the playoff until my teams had a chance to ever make it. It was a rigged carnival game. So I picked one bandwagon team that I would bandwagon. And so it's actually kind of funny. I have a decent amount of Florida Gators stuff in my house.
I got this.
I'll always be
Yeah, I mean, I think I went like not credit card broke, but like I bought a bunch of merch after they won.
I love the Gators stuff, man. I love it.
Dude,
it's so great.
I mean, like I am obsessed with the Gators. I mean, I graduated from there too, so I have an excuse. Like people can't say anything, and the fact that we're good in basketball now, like, is just I love it.
I'm curious how I struggle to say the word weird because I am a bandwagon Gators fan. I wear that as a badge of honor. Whereas like
being
when
West
good,
Coast too, you don't get that a lot.
Well, like when they're good, I watched a lot of basketball games for Florida this year.
Yeah.
And then obviously every game in the tournament. And when they won the championship, I was like, I know this isn't what it feels like when your team actually wins the championship, but I was like, but this is kind of nice to vicariously live through it. My wife was like, why aren't you more excited that they won it? I thought you'd go, be more excited because she was watching it with me. And I was like, because it feels like cheating, because it feels like they're not like, I'm not in Florida. I'm not based in Florida. I've never been to Florida, but I do want to go to Gainesville. Like I want to go watch Florida. Like I want to watch them play football and basketball because now ASU does have a chance to make to make the tournament, to make the college ball tournament. Now, could they actually win it? Probably not. But yeah, dude, it's fun to be able to have a team that does it. So that's why I bandwagoned them early on. It was definitely when they were good, but it was definitely the Tim Tebow years. I have a Tim Tebow Jets jersey in my closet.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Pretty crazy. I remember I bought it at a discount and it's in my closet. I have a $20. I bought it for $20, a New York Jets Tim Tebow jersey that I will never get rid of because that is my allegiance.
I am so excited about this Florida Gators team this year. The fact that with DJ Lagway, the hype, of course, around him, like now, like, the expectations are high with it's always been high with Florida athletics, but you have the football team this year. The basketball team, they just won the national championship. You just had Clayton, Richard, and Martin drafted all in the NBA draft, which was the first time since 2007. And then, because, wait, let me get this right. 2007, because it was Corey Brewer, Joakim Noah, and Al Horford, right? Those were the three Gators that, okay.
All five guys in 2007 in the starting lineup all got drafted just like Duke did.
Yeah, see, that just speaks volumes right there. However, though, the expectations are really high for the Gators to win the national championship in basketball this year again because like all the players they went out and got and retained. You retained Chinyelu, you retained Condon who pulled out of the draft. Same with Chinyelu, and you got
that was wild that Condon pulled
the portal. You know what? It's actually kind of funny. I'll say this on the podcast. I don't really care, but I was actually visiting Gainesville for that celebration weekend, and I bumped into him afterwards, and I was like, "Are you declaring?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm declaring." And then I kind of knew that anyways. Like I had a feeling because at that point, like everything is at an all-time high for them. Like just winning the national championship. But he ended up coming back, which was great. And then they who else did they got? They got CJ Ingram. And then, of course, I mean, like I said, I'm excited to see Boogie Fland as well. I'm looking forward to it, man. I mean, Todd Golden has put this Gators team on the map. You can say what you want. They wouldn't have beat Duke. They won the national championship last year.
Well, Duke's got to beat Houston. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Duke's got to beat Houston. So what's the point? Like,
right. Yeah.
The whole thing about March Madness is oftentimes the best team doesn't win. In fact, I would argue the best team almost never wins. Right. Because it's a can you get hot at the right time?
Yep.
Combined, like a couple of years ago, we had Florida Atlantic and
Final Four.
Yeah, Florida Atlantic was in the Final Four.
It was Florida Atlantic,
UConn,
Miami,
San Diego State. Like,
San Diego State.
Does anyone really think that 3 of those 4 teams should have been in it? UConn was the best team in that tournament, and that's why they won it back-to-back years.
Yeah.
But and I covered that Final Four when it was in Phoenix right here. But
yeah, that's right.
It was like the best team almost never wins. It almost never wins.
They don't.
This year, I would say Florida was the best team though.
I think so too. I mean, everybody picked them. Like, I mean, that's what scared me the most.
Well, also, I would rather have a bunch of in NCAA basketball, it's pretty clear. If you're starting 5 seniors, you have a chance to win the championship. Now, of course, like Florida didn't. They didn't have 5 seniors, but if you can mix it in with like a bunch of upperclassmen, because at the end of the day, yes, Cooper Flagg, 18 years old, is like elite, right? He's awesome.
Yeah.
But if I throw a 22-year-old filled out man on Cooper Flagg, who was going to the prom 6 months ago, you can push him around. Now, when Cooper Flagg's 22 and that player's 25, like Cooper Flagg's probably grown him to his own a little bit more.
Yeah.
But when you have a bunch of kids like
Mhm.
Duke had, yes, they're uber talented, but they're undisciplined. Judgment's probably not as good. And also, they're not as filled out. Like, imagine, does anyone think Kamal Malawach is going to stay the same size that he is right now? Like, he might
Probably not.
get a little taller, but I
Yeah.
know for sure the dude's going to get just massively yoked.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
same with Cooper. That's what happens. That's just what happens with our bodies. You get older, you're not the same. Like, I don't look the same as I did when I was 19.
How old are you now?
How old am I? I'm 27.
Okay, I'm 26. I don't know. I feel like, I can't gain weight. That's my biggest problem. I was 140 pounds when I graduated high school. I'm 165 now. And I go to the gym, but I also I run a lot. I do a lot of high reps and a lot of core. Like, I am like a Walmart version of like Ronaldo in the gym. Like, I bust my ass in the gym. I do, but like, I just can't gain weight. And like, I eat whatever, I'm very, very lucky. I have a very fast metabolism, but it's hard for me to gain weight. So
yeah, man, I'm someone that's hyper, like I'm moving all the time. Like I can't sit at the desk for super long. What I'll usually do is I'll split my work day up into, I'll do some stuff here and then I'll go to the gym and I'll come back and do half more. So I'm always moving around, always hooping or running or
it's hot out there
lifting,
too in Phoenix, right? Are you in Phoenix?
Yeah, dude, it's freaking hot right
Yeah, I was gonna say
now.
it's like 90, 93 here, but you guys see, I lived in
it's
in
92
California.
here now, but it's 9:30.
Humidity. You guys don't have the humidity, which is nice. I lived in LA, so I get it. But like here, it's like
humidity. So when
It's
people are
brutal.
like, so it will get to be like 115
I heard that.
on the 4th of July, probably, maybe even like 120. But it is a dry heat, and so when people are like, "Oh, 120 is better than 95 in Florida," I disagree because I was in New Orleans for the Super Bowl this year, and it was the winter. Yeah, that's a story for a different time. But I was meeting like people that are much cooler than I am. But
that's really cool. So, did you see Taylor Swift? Because I'm a Taylor Swift fan.
I did. I saw her her scrum in Phoenix.
We're cool. Yeah, they were booing her, man.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm a Taylor Swift fan. So if I bring her up at all during the podcast,
no, so is my wife. My wife is a massive Taylor Swift fan, but you can't get anywhere near her.
Yeah, it's true.
Was it in Las Vegas? I think it was Las Vegas.
Yeah,
because I went to the Super Bowl when it was in Las Vegas too.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, because they back to back.
Yeah, no,
That's so cool.
I'm not a Taylor Swift fan. Like, I'm not interested in her music, but like, I don't hate her.
As long as you're not a hater. As long as you're not. I mean, dude.
I just don't care enough about. It's like when people swear in my comment section that they hate me and they hate my takes, and I'm like, dude,
yeah,
it's fine. Like, it's totally fine that you hate me. It doesn't bother me. You can say whatever. Like, Kevin Durant. I'm not sure if you're familiar with my feud with him. He hates me. Kevin Durant is not a friend of mine.
Really?
And I don't care. Oh yeah. I'm sure you don't follow
your
me on
stuff before.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh yeah. Kevin Durant's not a friend of mine. Just last weekend he told me to go cover basketball in Lithuania. So that was pretty
really
funny.
And on what social media platform? Twitter.
Yeah. And he also
he's a big Twitter guy.
Yeah. He also gave me. Oh no, that was Instagram that he told me that. That was last week.
And you didn't tag him or anything?
No. I don't tag Kevin Durant in anything. I don't want to talk to him. I don't hate him. Like he's an elite level player. He's top 10 basketball player of all time. But like I don't want to talk to him. Like
damn, he's really dude. He's so petty. He is so petty.
2 weeks
That's
ago,
crazy.
I was just talking like about Kevin Durant in like a chat on Twitter. I put something out, didn't spell his name, didn't do anything like that, and then he called me a liar about something. He hates. And I was over here like playing college football with Florida, I might add. And
new college football comes out, dude. I'm honestly like I'm kind of thinking about getting it again. I'm such a sucker, man.
I have no time to play video games, but
I don't either. I've been the same back.
It was free. It was free. The game after a while it just becomes free.
Right now. 2K's free.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I want to play so bad, man.
So I'll play it every now and then.
Yeah.
But my hidden talent is I will cook anyone in college football or in Madden. I'm very good at both of those games. Very good. PlayStation? Yeah. I'll beat anyone that I no one that I know has beaten me in Madden or college football. I'm very good at those games. Those are the only games I'm good at though.
Does your wife get on you about gaming at all? Like, get off the damn game?
She plays more video games than I do.
Really?
Sure, but her games are like educational though. They're like it's like she'll like play like these puzzle games that she's really into.
Okay, that's a little different.
I'm so busy.
It's like brain dumps. You're not. Yeah.
No. She's definitely way smarter than I am. But funny. like I'm usually busy,
Yeah.
And so I'm not usually playing, but like
Yeah.
nothing beats playing Fortnite with your buddies
True.
at like 10 p.m.
True.
And so I'll do that once a month. And I
But
wish I
don't
could do
have
it more.
time. I have to
but
edit
I'm
all
just
this
too busy.
freaking content. I don't have
Yeah.
time. Like, there's so much that comes out. Like, I don't know how.
Yeah,
like,
there's like, if there's going, like, I'd rather hang out with my wife with my spare
Yeah.
time than play video games.
Yeah,
And
fair.
so like people have different priorities. Like I'm 27. I got married at 23.
Oh, wow.
I think we've been together for 3 years. I'm pretty sure
Mhm.
we've been married for 3 years. We've been together for like 8. But
Pretty sure she's gonna get on you for that.
no, dude. I think I'm pretty sure our last anniversary was like 3 years. But like the first wedding anniversary matters. I think the 5th, like they all matter.
Yeah, of course.
They all matter. But
Yeah.
I think like the big milestones like 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, like
Yeah.
those kind of big numbers.
Mhm.
But yeah, we've been married for 3 years and we've been together for like 8. I think we got together in like 2018. And then we met at like church camp. Like she was my boss. So there's that too. But yeah, man, it's like she plays more video games than I do, which is cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
It actually makes me feel better when I'm busy doing something and I bought her some brain dump game that she can play that, by the way, I don't even care if she hears this. Looks like the most boring games in the world, but she's all into it. So
That's funny.
let her have her fun. Yeah, I'm more of a like Fortnite, Call of Duty. When I say I'm really good at Madden, and I am. I'm very good at Madden.
Yeah.
I'm very good at college football.
Yeah.
I don't even practice those games either. I'm just very good at them. I don't know why. I don't find them hard. Throw it to the open guy and then cover the middle of the field. I've never found it difficult. I'm terrible at like the other types of games like Call of Duty, Fortnite, those types of things. I'm awful. Like
Fortnite I'm not that good at. I was never
I'm always
good
the
at
worst
building.
player.
I was never good at building in Fortnite.
I am we play no builds because I'm that bad.
That's true. I can't build.
But like stuff like that, I'm terrible at. Like I'm always the worst player, and it's not close. Like when we're playing squads and 3 of them die, and it's just me, they're like, "All right, let's reboot." Like they know I'm not coming out of that with a win. Like best thing I could do is try to bring them back, but I am the comedy fun guy when it comes to those games. But it's weird because like Madden, college football, like even 2K, I'm terrible at. But the other 2 games I'm very good at. And
I'm actually pretty good at 2K. We played 2K last Sunday. I played the WNBA teams. I'm like, bro, I want to play with Caitlin Clark. Where I was hanging out with some friends, and we played Fever Sky. She's an absolute cheat code in that game, man. Caitlin Clark is ridiculous in freaking in 2K. And shout out to having the women's in there. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, no, my whole thing was like with women's college basketball was always, I don't feel bad for you that no one watches your product because your product stinks. I'm not going to pander to you. I'm not going to. Your product stinks. It's the same thing with like men's soccer for the longest time. Your product stinks. I'm not going to watch you. You had a Christian Pulisic. I liked Jermaine Jones a long time ago. You had a Tim Howard, not even like Landon Donovan. Like you had some of these different players and you're like, oh yeah, I'll watch you. And then I don't have to lie about liking your product. Caitlin Clark is freaking awesome.
She is.
I love to hate Angel Reese, just like how I love to hate LeBron. Like that's a good thing. She wears the villain role well. Like, do I think she's objectively a good WNBA player? I have my worries, but you want to know who wasn't a very good NBA player either? Patrick Beverley, Lance Stevenson. Yep. But they play the villain roles so well that I'm like, yeah, this is interesting. Or like Paige Beckers. That chick is just she's just so something
good.
Else.
I think I honestly will say this, Ben, and I am the biggest Caitlin fan. Like I love Caitlin. I got her Rookie of the Year shirt. I got a Fever shirt. I'm working on going to a game later this year. I personally think Caitlin or Paige Beckers is a better scorer and a better, I wouldn't say overall player, but I think she's a better scorer than Caitlin Clark. I really do. I think she's more skilled. I think
that might be true. You might watch
shot. I love Caitlin, but I think Caitlin's a better overall player and she elevates her team.
Yeah.
I don't think Beckers is on that level yet. Beckers just gives me like that Kyrie Irving feel. Like she really does. If you've watched some of her highlights, her bag and how she plays, that's the vibe that I get from her. Caitlin gives me like the Jokic feel, how she changes the impact of the game. LeBron feel.
Yeah, and I'd always rather have LeBron and Jokic over Irving. But to make your point, you might watch more WNBA than I do. In fact, I'd probably say you do.
I do. Yeah, I didn't watch. I I didn't watch
I haven't
last night's
watched
game
one
because she was
singular
hurt.
Mercury game this year. Not one.
Oh, yeah, no, they just cut TJ McConnell's sister. Yeah.
I haven't watched a singular game. Now,
Yeah.
I know that they're very good,
Yeah.
but they're going to need to continue to pique my interest for me to watch their game. I'm not going to watch their game to make you feel better. Like, and I think fans are like, but you don't watch the Mercury. I'm like, no, I don't. They don't make me feel anything. Caitlin Clark does. Angel Reese does. Cameron Brink does.
Paige Beckers, Sirianni Ionescu.
Even like Sophie Cunningham when she was on Mercury. Like and also like I just had a personal connection with her. Like she was at every Suns game. She's super nice.
Yeah.
Really good person. That's like when the Josh Bartlestein stuff came out, that nonsense that they were doing nefarious activities out on their own. It was like, that's not true. And people throwing that lie around is really jacked up because Suns fans that just hated Josh Bartlestein, and I'm on that. Who
was that again?
Yeah, there was a lawsuit that came out that Josh Bartlestein was having an affair with Sophie Cunningham while he was married, obviously. So that was a big thing. That's why Sophie Cunningham put out a statement on her social medias not too long ago.
Jeez.
Because people were dragging her through the mud. And I was like, why are Suns fans like this? She was really great for the Suns broadcast at the games. Super good person. Like, we're just dragging this person through the mud because we hate Josh Bartlestein. We just want it to be true. Yeah. So like she got me to a television set. She was fun to watch. And she's just a really like good person. And she's super tall. Holy
if I were to ask you, like, the Suns or the Phoenix sports fan base as a whole, since you cover the Suns and you dabble with the Cardinals and you cover all that, would you say like your fan base is like really passionate? Because like I don't get that.
Suck.
I don't get that vibe.
Sucks.
Like they don't like.
No, our fan base
they're not
sucks.
like Philly, Boston. I mean, I think you guys are probably on the.
No, we're on the lower end.
We're at the totem pole.
I would say when we had 4 sports franchises, like when we were one of the few states that have 4, one team in each major sports franchise.
Yeah.
Out of that tier, we were by far at the bottom.
Are you guys in the Washington State category? Like Utah doesn't have every team, but like, are you guys in that category? Or are you guys just the lowest of low?
Well, we're a melting pot. There is like, when you go to like when I was in New Orleans.
Yep.
It's the South. I saw a lot of black people.
Yep.
In Arizona, you're going to see a lot of. Sorry, man, you fell out of my screen. Sorry. In Arizona, you're going to see a lot of Hispanics. You're going to see a lot of white people. You're going to see a lot of black people. There's a lot of different people. I went to Boston a couple years ago. Did you guess strictly white people?
Yeah.
Because I did. And so like
that's where I'm from, Rhode Island. That's where I was born. So yeah, I get it. Yeah.
White people there. Yeah. And so like we come to Phoenix and LA, I think is like this too.
Yep.
There's going to be a bunch of different types of people in our spot. And they all come from different areas. So in football, the Cardinals are probably the biggest fan base here, but not by a large margin. It's probably like I'm a big Cardinals guy. You mentioned I dabble. I am
Diamondbacks too.
Always in the Cardinals. I'm always in the Diamondbacks. Like the Diamondbacks, I would say all of them lead the amount of fans that they have because they're in the state. But the Dodgers, when the Dodgers come to town, it's a completely blue stadium. It's all blue.
Yep.
When the Cubs come to town, it's fully Cubs stadium.
That's
Yankees,
crazy.
Red Sox. The Suns are the only team, because they've been here for the longest, that it doesn't matter what opposing team comes in, the Suns are going to outsell them, and it probably won't be close. But like when Boston comes to town, there is going to be a decent subsection of Boston Celtics fans at the game. But there's going to be more Suns fans. Lakers, like Suns are still going to have more. The Cardinals, if they're good, they'll sell out the Steelers 60-40.
Yeah.
But if they're not good, every other big franchise is going to outsell State Farm Stadium. Like, this is where I do the high and mighty thing, because I was born and raised here, so I'm going to be an Arizona fan. Yeah. I don't do the go pick which team is the best.
Well, my friends give me the biggest shit for all my teams. You don't even want to know my teams.
No, I don't think I do. No, I
don't think you do. You'll probably be like this flipping guy.
But in Arizona, like in Arizona, you're a Cardinals fan, or and this is the other half of the subsection: Niners, Raiders, Cowboys, Steelers.
Well, you guys used to have hockey. Now you guys have the Coyotes. That's gone.
Well, because no one went.
Well, they sucked. Yeah.
Whenever people tell you hockey belongs in the desert, they're lying. It doesn't.
I love hockey. I love hockey, so I get it.
Well, no one went to the games, man.
Well, I know. Now they're the Utah Mammoth. They were the hockey club. Now they changed their name again.
Like, I wanted the Coyotes to be here. Me and my wife went to a decent amount of hockey games, especially like in our early dating years, because the tickets were cheap. yeah, like Shane Doan and company. I liked Duclair when he was here.
Yeah.
Clayton Keller. Like I understood the team.
Yeah, it's
but
fun to watch.
I didn't get into hockey because I was never a big hockey fan. I was a Coyotes fan by default, but they always sucked. You know what drives fans away? Dysfunction. And they were a dysfunctional organization. They had a different owner like every year. So, and they left and people were like, oh, hockey belongs here. Look at the way they sold out Mullet Arena. And then everyone forgets to tell you Mullet Arena held like 5,000 people. And so I'm like, yeah, I would hope you'd sell out that. But there's a reason why they got locked out of Glendale because they weren't paying their bills because no one was coming to the games.
That's crazy.
And so, and like when Tempe like declined putting a stadium up, I'm like, yeah, it doesn't shock me. No one went to the games. No one went to the games.
They can't, there's no revenue there.
Teams don't just up and leave.
Do you still have to run at 1?
What time is it right here?
12:55.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm up against it, but it's all good. I'm up against it for the next few, but sorry about that.
That's okay. You're all good. All right, I want to talk about this here. I mean, I think people need to realize this, and I really hope they do about the NBA Finals, but that just, finished with the Pacers and the Thunder. Shea Gilders-Alexander had one of the greatest seasons in NBA history to recent day. He really did. I mean, how do you even argue that, right? NBA MVP, Western Conference Finals MVP, scoring title, a ring. He's the first fourth player to ever do that. To win Finals MVP, regular season MVP, and he's the first.
My thing about Shea is
to win MVP and Finals in the same year, which was Shaq.
Yeah, my thing with Shea is when they start to put him in the breath of like Jordan,
right?
Neil, a lot of players have had really good, great individual seasons. And here's what I will say: the Oklahoma City Thunder, yes, best team in the West. I hold 100%. no ill will towards them winning the championship. But what I will say is their style of play was like incredibly boring to watch. It was very predicated on getting to the line. But guess what? They don't care.
But
they shouldn't care. They shouldn't care about what I think.
Right.
Because what some kid in Phoenix thinks about, but like it was objectively a bad way to watch. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, like a lot of players in the NBA, Joel Embiid, Luka Doncic, Devin Booker at times.
Austin Reeves is a bit.
Oh my God. Austin Reeves has an insane whistle. But like he gets to the line a lot. He leans into contact.
Yeah.
That's fine. Like it worked. James Harden did it. Yeah, exactly. James Harden did. Like
yes.
It's just not a great style of play that I want to watch. I was rooting for the Pacers to win because the Pacers were more fun to watch. The Thunder, it was not a great product to watch. Yeah. And I like the city of Oklahoma. I've been to a Sooners game. I've been to Oklahoma. It's a really good sports town.
Yeah.
But it's like the style of play was so boring to watch. But I can still say this. He should have been. No, I think Jokic should have won the MVP because MVP now doesn't mean what it used to mean. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is not the most valuable player in the NBA. He was the most outstanding. So I wish they would change the award. Like he was the best. He was the best statistical player. He should have won that award. But like, if you took Shea Gilgeous-Alexander off the Oklahoma City Thunder and you took Jokic off the Nuggets, which team do you think misses the playoffs? Like I think the Nuggets are pretty clear. But since that's not the way that we've went about the award, we give it to the most outstanding player. Shea should have won it. Yes. But that's not like he should have.
That's why they need an MOP, most outstanding player. I think that
they should just change the name of the award.
I agree.
They should have a most valuable. Player.
Yes.
They should have most valuable, and it should actually mean valuable.
Yes.
Like the 1 year Russell Westbrook won his MVP, I was like, it's kind of an unethical way of winning it because he was not very efficient. But I do think because the stat came out, they were like 26-5 when he records a triple-double. And I'm like,
they didn't win anything though. Right. He wasn't efficient. I know exactly what you're talking about because that team, they weren't very good. Right.
No, they weren't. But Russell Westbrook did do everything they can to hold him to the playoffs. So like, I don't hate that one. But like when Derrick Rose won an MVP, I'm like, okay. Right. Like, okay.
And the thing is, too, is people saying Shea Gilgeous isn't a Hall of Famer. They're absolutely crazy because every MVP has gone to the.
Tracy McGrady is a Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is a Hall of Famer.
Exactly.
The NBA Hall of Fame, like the Basketball Hall of Fame sucks.
Yeah.
So everyone gets in.
Luka's already a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, Luka's a Hall of Famer. Yao Ming Yao Ming
Right.
didn't do anything for like 8 seasons, but like
Well,
he didn't do anything.
that's why Cooperstown is so special in the MLB, along with the NFL Hall of Fame. Like, it's so, I mean, Cooperstown is super exclusive. I mean,
MLB's got the best Hall of Fame. I wish they would stop, like, either let all the steroid players in or tell them no. That's my thing when it comes to it.
right.
The NFL Hall of Fame has gotten worse over time.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
Just stop letting in everyone, like in the Basketball Hall of Fame does. Like,
Yeah,
everyone
let
gets
everyone
in.
in. Everyone
Because
gets in.
The Basketball Hall of Fame takes into account college and NBA. It's the same thing. So, like, Christian Laettner is a Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's what I'm saying. Like, that
so,
right
like,
there is insane.
Have a college Hall of Fame and have an NBA Hall of Fame.
Yes.
But, like,
Fair.
when people were telling me, "Oh, Dwight Howard shouldn't be in the NBA," I'm like, dude, Christian Laettner is a Hall of Famer.
Oh, you're saying
Yes.
Dwight Howard shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame?
Sorry, Dwight Howard shouldn't be in the
Hall
Hall of Fame. Like,
Right.
yes, he should be. If Christian Laettner's in the Hall of Fame, like, Manu Ginobili is going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
And
but
Manu
one of the best
Ginobili
6 men
was
of
like
all time.
He's like a career 6 man. Like, I don't know if I want guys off the bench to be
But then
Hall
again,
of
you had
Famers.
Kevin McHale, who was also a 6 man as well. I mean,
That's my
was
point.
really-
Is like,
Yeah,
I would hold it
yes.
to a much higher standard, but they don't.
Andre
Like,
Iguodala is going to go to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Iggy's gonna go. Iggy will go. What
Kevin
if
Love
some-
will probably go.
Kevin Love will go.
Yes.
What's some like fringe?
DeMar DeRozan.
All-star- DeMar DeRozan is like a fringe guy, but I bet
He'll
you they
probably
put him in.
go.
But I bet
Paul
you they
George,
put him in.
Paul George.
Yeah, we're like there should be like a hall of really good, and that's where like Paul George and DeMar DeRozan and guys like that would go. He'd be like the hall of like good. I don't know if he'd be in the hall of pretty good, but
He'll probably get in. Yeah.
Lowry's
ring.
close.
He's got a ring.
Lowry's close.
Yeah,
I don't know.
is.
I'm not sure if Lowry would get in, but like
I think he
Kawhi
would,
Leonard,
maybe.
Kawhi Leonard will be a first ballot Hall of Famer,
100%.
and he's injured a lot. If I'm not mistaken, he never won an MVP.
No.
Like,
No, he's never
but
won
he's
an
going to be a
MVP.
first ballot guy, and so
he
like
won Finals
NBA Hall of
MVP.
Fame sucks.
But he won
He
Finals
does have.
MVP,
Well,
right?
he has 2 finals. He has
He
2
has
finals
because
MVP.
Spurs and the.
But Andre
right.
Iguodala's got a Finals MVP. Like,
Yeah. Okay. This is one of my.
Jaylen Brown's got a Finals MVP.
Finals
Like,
MVP.
I don't.
Right.
For the longest time, Steph Curry didn't have one. So.
No, Steph Curry has one. They're always going to hold that against him. He's got 4 championships. However, though, my biggest thing about Hall of Fames, or I mean MVPs, is in sports, especially in the NBA. Like, you can't sit here and tell me in the 2015 NBA Finals, LeBron James didn't deserve that MVP over Iguodala. Like, how? How did Iguodala win? Like, I know that they, like in hockey, like the loser is allowed to win the Conn Smythe Trophy. Like McDavid won it last year.
Well,
for
in the
Oilers.
NBA,
But the NBA,
you're allowed
it's like.
to win it. You're allowed
Yeah,
to.
you
They
are,
just
but it's
won't do
very
it.
rare. I think it's only happened.
they're
I think it's like 2 or 3 times, but like, it's just insane. Like, you're telling me Iguodala outplayed LeBron? Like, we're talking like LeBron almost averaged a triple double. I think he averaged like, it was like 39 and 8 or whatever. If his stats, I don't remember exactly, but it was somewhere around there. But it's like, you're trying to tell me Iguodala outplayed LeBron? Come on. Take Iguodala off that team, and they're
man. I would agree with you. People are like, "Well, Iggy held LeBron," and I'm like, "Well,
no, because
LeBron was first in literally every major statistical category for both teams." So, yeah, man, I would agree with you, brother. I think the Hall of Fame is not great. MLB does a good job. I just wish they would stop not letting they won't let Kurt Schilling in. And like, okay, let me just so we're clear. Like, I'm a Hispanic dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
racism is bad.
Clemente.
But Kurt Schilling's, I don't even know what the comments are. Like, his controversial comments about race or whatever, like, has nothing to do with his baseball ability.
His play on the field, correct.
Put him in the Hall of Fame. Barry Bonds never tested positive for steroids, but like, come on, Barry Bonds is probably on steroids.
We know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a truther in the fact that, like, if you do steroids or you cheat or anything like that, like Alex Rodriguez will never get in the Hall of Fame. Like, it's
I don't care because
never gonna happen.
I would agree with you. I would agree with you in that sense, but that's not how they do it. They put in some and they don't put in others, and it's like,
well, they waited till Pete Rose died to say that he's eligible.
Well, because technically he was a lifetime ban, which is a really funny way of going about it.
You just have to wait until he kicks the bucket for him to be eligible, and now he's eligible. Like, I mean, that's what I'm saying. The MLB, they're very strict on that. It's like Barry Bonds is getting a statue from the San Francisco Giants. He's the 5th player in history to get it, and he's not even elected into the Hall of Fame, but he's got his jersey retired. How does that make sense? So now you're trying to make him feel better about this? Like, that doesn't make any sense. That's where I don't understand. It's like, okay, he's getting a statue. he's not elected into your Hall of Fame, but has his jersey retired. What?
Yeah.
So now it's like a pity party. Let's get Barry Bonds feeling good. He's getting a statue now. It's like, and he's not even in your Hall of Fame. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's where I don't understand that.
No, I would agree with you, man. Sorry, I'm looking at the clock here because I
You're
probably
good.
do have to dip out in the next 2 minutes. But
Yeah, and
I'm
he's
not
regarded
about
as- yeah.
yeah,
one of the
no, I'm
best
just
ever.
not about handing out the participation trophies. Put the players that deserve to be in and take the players that don't need to be in and leave them out. It's okay if you hurt a couple of feelings.
Yep.
My feelings have been hurt multiple times in life.
Yep.
And you know what? I came out the better side. Just, I'm still alive. So it's all good. I still think I'm going to judge you a little harshly about being a Taylor Swift fan, but it's all
Me?
good. Yeah, I'll judge you.
Oh, okay. Is that the last? Is this how you?
I think that's how it should end because
how you're leaving. I'm gonna continue rolling. I'm just gonna wait. I
don't take this guy for a Taylor Swift guy, but like.
Well, I didn't want to send anything you on TikTok message. I was like, I don't know what the fuck this guy's gonna say. He's like, oh, he likes Taylor Swift. I mean, you've seen some of my content, but like, I always have, and you know what? I love talking about.
Man. She like when people are like, her music sucks, and I'm like, okay, obviously it doesn't. You just don't like the music. Like yeah. I'll because my wife really likes it, so like yeah. I know a couple of songs, and I'll sing them with her, or like joke with her, but like. I have 0 Taylor Swift songs on my playlist. Actually, it's not true. I have one. I have one Taylor Swift song saved, but I can't remember what it is. It's the one with Future. I think it's hilarious.
Wait, with Future?
Yes. What is it called?
What
is it called? Wish my wife. I know my wife can hear me.
It's not.
She's just leaving me out to dry. She won't tell me what it is.
Bad Blood with Kendrick Lamar.
No, it's
off of Reputation.
Yes, it's off that album.
Yes. Oh my god, why am I drawing a blank so hard here? It's called
Endgame.
I want to be Ed Sheeran and Future's on that. I want to be Endgame.
That song's a banger. I'll give her that one.
In the Tom Brady doc, in the Patriots documentary, they did "Don't Blame Me" for when the intro for when the Browns and the Patriots were playing in that. And I was like, I fell out of my chair. That's how I told you I'm a big fan, bro. I love her. I got her merch and all that. Yeah.
My wife loves her. She tried to get me to go to her concert when she was here in Phoenix, and I was like, "How much?"
She was in Phoenix,
and my wife goes to every single one. She's here,
and the tickets were like ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, she's like, and I'm like, okay, how much is it? Because I'm a big Blink-182 guy, and Blink-182 here. My wife went with me, but the tickets were $150 a piece, and I had never seen Blink-182 live before.
Okay,
and I won't go again because I'm not really that interested in going to concerts. I've just never been.
Yeah,
but I was like, all right, how much is it? She's like $400. I'm like, yeah, take a friend. I'm not paying $400 to go see a concert I don't want to go to. Like I don't want to go.
And the resellings were ridiculous. Oh my god.
Yeah, dude. My wife always goes, and I'm like, listen, I don't care. Go, but I'm not interested. Anyways.
Yeah, well, hey man, it was a pleasure to have you on the show.
They're pinging me on the other one.
Yeah, so it was a pleasure to have you on the show. I know you got to go. We'll definitely connect more in the future. But guys, as always, make sure to follow Ben Garcia's show on TikTok as well as follow his YouTube as well. We got a chance to talk about the NBA draft because that's the biggest thing going on right now in the NBA. Free agency is coming up here June 30th. Teams can start talking to players. We've already seen some signings already happen. Ben covers the Phoenix Suns as well. So make sure to check his content out. We're going to keep rolling here for probably about 10, 15 more minutes. You're just going to hear me talk for the next, 10, 15 minutes. Just kind of continue what we're going. But it was a pleasure to have you on, man. And we'll definitely connect in the future. And we'll see you next time.
Later, man. Stay safe, brother.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. Well, it was great to have Ben Garcia on the podcast. He covers the Suns. Like I said, so it was great to have him on, but we're going to keep rolling here. The NFL news that's been going on this past week. Yeah, Justin Tucker, of course, just suspended for the first 10 games. What team is going to want to sign Justin Tucker? He seems washed at this point to me. I don't really see a team would sign him. Maybe if their kicker is doing really bad in the season and you're looking for Justin Tucker after his first 10 games, but he's going to be on the couch for the first 10 games. But if I'm Justin Tucker, he's probably going to say he's not washed and he can still play, of course. But, the Ravens moving on from him, I would retire. I really would. I mean, you didn't finish the year good. You didn't look that good last year. Obviously, I know all the stuff that just came out with him with all the, the misconducts and stuff like that. But if I'm Justin Tucker, I'm retiring. I'm not playing around anymore. I got my checks. I got my money. I got my family. I'm out. There's no point for him to even continue playing. Why? You've already had your legacy in Baltimore. Go on, go off into the wings or go whatever you have to do and get off the field. However, though, for the Taylor Swift fans and the Travis Kelce and all the NFL stuff, Tight End University. I mean, that was awesome to see. You had Travis Kelce and Greg Olson, hosting the tight end university, which was really, really cool. This is the third year doing it. They had over 70 players. They had entertainment. They were featuring players. A lot of content going on there. Travis Kelce, George Kittle, Greg Olson, Gronk getting in the mix of that. The players getting interviewed. And then, of course, Taylor Swift doing a surprise concert, singing Shake It Off. I knew that. I mean, I didn't know, but I thought she was going to be there with Travis. And, it was really cool to see her there. But I didn't know she was going to perform Shake It Off. I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. I was sending it to my friends that also love Taylor Swift as well. But a surprise appearance, which was really cool. Tight ends and friends. I mean, she was loving it. It was really cool to see. And I think the best part about it is like, people give Taylor Swift shit and they give Travis Kelce shit for their like public relationship and stuff. But the fact that they can just kind of block out all the noise and just have their fun. And I guess when you're, have all that money in the world, doesn't really matter. But the fact that they can block out all that noise and just be themselves, being videoed and recorded and talked to and this and that. And she was hanging out with fans and talking to people. It was so special about it to me is the fact that they can just be themselves and they can just have fun there. And like the fact that Travis Kelce brought Taylor Swift with him to the tight end university because all the wags were there. Claire Kittle was there with George Kittle. That was cool to see. I loved it. I really did. I mean, I don't know how people can still hate on this girl. She's just supporting her boyfriend at at the tight end university. And some people were even asking on the internet, is that a real university? Can I attend that? No, you can't. But it's cool that they hold it in Nashville. It's their third year doing it. It was founded in 2021. It's nice for the tight ends to bond and hang out and watch other tight ends and learn from Travis Kelce. He was showing players how to do drills, footwork and stuff. You had Greg Olson there. So I mean, I thought it was really cool to see, but I loved it. I mean, I don't know how, you could hate on it, just, it was really cool to see Taylor Swift there and she was loving it. She was part of the whole football stuff, like I said, taking pictures with fans and, being recorded and having fun. It was just a nice weekend, but that's really it for the NFL stuff. I mean, for the most part, there really isn't a whole lot aside from, back to Titan University real quick. Kelsey's favorite Swift songs, Blank Space, of course, 1989 banger. How can you not love that song? Cruel Summer. Love Cruel Summer. And then, of course, So High School, which I really think it's about him. We'll run over the trades real quick. I mean, there was so many trades. You had, of course, Durant going to the Rockets. Kevin Durant has landed on a new team again. I mean, I don't know, like, how many more times is Kevin Durant going to get traded? How many more teams is he going to go to? Like, is he going to play until he's 40? Like, that's the thing with Kevin Durant. It's like you wanted out of Phoenix and now you're on Houston. And I saw Houston has the fourth highest betting odds to win a championship. I don't know how that's the case. Maybe I'm missing something here, but I don't see the Suns being a threat like that in the West. Kevin Durant can't stay healthy. He has been a liability on the court. I know he's, still averaging his very high points per game, but I just really don't see it. That's why I'm like confused there. Obviously they just, brought back Fred VanVleet. He re-signed, but I don't really know. And then of course, the Suns, they got Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the number 10 pick, which they picked with Malawak from Duke as well there, plus 5 second-round picks. And then, of course, you had the Desmond Bane trade with the Orlando Magic. He was on the Grizzlies and now he's on the Magic. And he got they traded 4 first-round picks and a pick swap, which was insane to think about. Like, Desmond Bane is a good player, but 4 first-round picks, I don't think he's on that level. I mean, obviously, I know Orlando needed shooting, and they were desperately missing that. And of course, they traded KCP, Cole Anthony. But I mean, I don't know. I just think that's really weird. The West is wide open, though. That's one thing I will say. The West. The East is wide open when you sit there and go. I mean, obviously, you've got Tyrese Halliburton who tore his Achilles. Tatum's going to be out next year. There's really no real threat in the East outside of Cleveland because, Boston, of course, like I said, Tatum's out. They just shook up their whole team, trading away Holiday to the Blazers, letting go of Porzingis, trading him to the Hawks because the whole second apron and how, they were getting punished by the luxury tax there. So I don't know. I mean, the East is wide open, but Desmond Bane, 4 first-round picks is just, that's a lot. It really is. More trades you got. Mark Williams on night 1 of the draft went to the Phoenix Suns. So now the Suns have 2 big men with Malawak and Mark Williams. Away from, Lakers fans, please look away. Then you had the Warriors. They traded they traded down, and then they acquired Will Richard from the Florida Gators. My Florida Gators, love to see that. But other than that, I mean, draft wise, I mean, that's really it. We talked about Cooper Flagg. I don't know how much more you want to talk about Cooper Flagg. Is he going to be a bust? Is he not? Are the Mavs going to be a playoff team? Obviously, Kyrie Irving isn't going to be playing most of this season because he tore his ACL last year. So you have that as well. But then you had, of course, we talked about the whole Ace Bailey stuff. VJ Edgecombe going 3. Was Con Kneppel, an overreach with the Hornets at 4. The Blazers, or excuse me, the Blazers and the Celtics trading, but the Celtics blowing up their whole team, which was really interesting to see. With that, I was confused with Brooklyn with what they were doing. They had 5, draft picks in the draft, and they really didn't capitalize on anything. So that really didn't make any sense there. Did they kind of blow their chances if they even had any that were upcoming for them? But yeah, I mean, like I said, we talked about this earlier on the show, Ben and I personally don't think the NBA draft excites me as like it used to be. I mean, past drafts, of course, these players are Hall of Famers, and they were, but I feel like they were hyped a lot more than the draft we just had. Like outside of Cooper Flagg, I mean, most people don't even know who any of those other players are. Like if you're a Gators fan, you know about Walter Clayton, Will Richard, and Elijah Martin, or if you're a Duke fan, you know about Cooper Flagg. But like that's really what but nobody, if you ask most people, I don't know who Ace Bailey is. I don't know who Dylan Harper is. I just really feel like this draft wasn't highlighted to the way it should have been. Like in the NFL, like they do a really good job. Like I know exactly who Shedeur Sanders is because he's Deion Sanders' son. I know who Cam Ward is because I watch football and he was the number 1 overall pick. And I know about other Travis Hunter, of course. Like, yeah, of course, Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders played together. But like just in Genty, of course, because he was a Heisman favorite. He was a Heisman runner-up. But like in the NBA, of course, the NFL is a bigger product than the NBA. I totally understand that. However, though, it just didn't excite me like it has in the past. Like they talked about Cooper Flagg, but we've known about Cooper Flagg for a while since when he was at Mount Verde. But like, I don't know, you've had past drafts, like you had the 2013 with Giannis, Rudy Gobert, and Paul George. Like, I mean, obviously, of course, that was 12 years ago. Of course, you had the 17 draft with Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, and Bam Adebayo. I knew about all those players highlighted because if you watch college basketball, you knew who they were, and they were the best college basketball players coming into that draft that year. Tatum, of course, Duke, Donovan Mitchell, Louisville, Bam Adebayo, Kentucky. Of course, you had the 2018 trade with Luka Doncic, DeAndre Ayton, and Trae Young. Like that draft was highlighted to a huge level that this draft wasn't highlighted. The 2020 draft with LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, and then of course now Halliburton coming into there. James Wiseman was a big name in there, but like this draft, like I didn't really feel that. I didn't get that excitement like I have in the past, but I don't know. I really didn't. Like, I mean, yeah, of course, this draft could completely surprise me, and these players could all go on to be Hall of Famers. You never know. It's a shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? And of course, Cooper Flagg's the poster boy, but like, I feel like, if you watch basketball, the highlight of this draft outside of Cooper Flagg was Ace Bailey bitching off the court. It really was. Outside of that, you don't really know. So I don't know. This draft really didn't excite me like it has in past years, but I want to touch upon the WNBA briefly before we officially wrap up. I told you guys we were wrapping up, but there was some more stuff that we had to cover. A'ja Wilson surpassed 5,000 career points, joining an elite WNBA company. A'ja Wilson, you could say she's arguably the best player in the WNBA. I know she was hurt earlier this year with concussion protocol, or she was off the court with a little bit of concussion and stuff like that. And she's a 3-time MVP, which is, great. Of course, she's got 2 championships with the Las Vegas Aces. Napheesa Collier right now is the runaway favorite to win the MVP. But yeah, I mean, hats off to A'ja Wilson surpassing 5,000 career points. I mean, she is an amazing player and she's fun to watch. I mean, she's a great overall player. She's just really fun to watch in the paint. Just her style of play. She's just awesome to watch. That's really what I'll say. But we're going to talk about this here. Caitlin Clark has been struggling as of late because of her injuries. And everyone's like, the pressure is on Caitlin Clark. Is she going to play tonight against the Dallas Wings? And hopefully we can get this episode out before tonight. But it's just, sitting here, she's hurt. And the pressure, is on her. And it sucks to say that, but that's what comes with, being a huge sports star. She didn't play last night against she didn't play against the Los Angeles Sparks last night. But, a big thing here is Paige Becker is on Caitlin Clark's pressure. It's inhumane expectations. Becker's called the scrutiny on Clark, who shot just 1 for 23 from deep over 3 games, overwhelming and unfair. Yes, we saw Caitlin Clark come back last week or coming up here on 2 weeks ago against the New York Liberty, and the Indiana Fever beat them, and she had a spectacular game. I think she had her career high in threes, but it's a it's the WNBA, it's basketball. You're going to have rough games, but people to sit here and say, oh my God, Caitlin Clark didn't score this many points. And oh my gosh, she didn't have 8 threes. It's like the Steph Curry effect or the Steph Curry treatment, how she gets, because that's her style of play. She's a bomb from three type of shooter. And yes, I would 100% would want to have her on my team. So to sit here and say like, Caitlin Clark hasn't been impressive. Like, players are going to go through slumps. Like, I know it's LeBron James was an anomaly in the NBA, or like Jokic, but like, and of course, they've had their bad games, but like, players are going to go through rough stretches in basketball. Like, it's not a bad thing. Like, okay, now she's hurt. So you're seeing like maybe the injury that she's had has really had an effect on her. And she played great coming off against the New York Liberty that game when she came back from injury after, missing 5 games of the quad. But maybe she re-aggravated it. You never know. So, but for her to be out there, if she's hurt, she shouldn't be playing. So we'll see tonight if she does play against the Dallas Wings. Like I said, she's been, battling that groin strain, groin quad area. She's kind of slipped a little bit, and, with her points per game and how she's played, and she's looked rough on the court. She's still been, assisting, giving dimes, but the big picture here, there's going to be good games. There's going to be bad games, like Paige Becker said, you just have to keep learning and keep pushing. Stars are going to have off nights. It's not a bad thing. Like Tom Brady had bad games in the NFL. Aaron Rodgers has had bad games. Patrick Mahomes has had bad games. Like, it's part of sports. It's going to happen. So like, for people to just like rip apart Clark for her play and how, oh, she's overrated and she's not that good, or like, no, she's hurt and she's going through a slump. It's not a bad thing. It happens. I think, guys, on that note there, we're going to wrap up. I mean, there really isn't anything else much to cover. We covered the NBA draft, covered the NFL Tight End University with Travis Kelce, Greg Olsen, and George Kittle hosting that, along with, the Wags being there, which was cool to see. It was great to have Ben Garcia on the show as well. But make sure to follow us on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts, the Inquisitive Mamba Podcast, the Inquisitive Mamba on TikTok, the Inquisitive Mamba Podcast on Instagram. Cover the whole stuff with the NBA. You hate to see a player like Tyrese Halliburton go down in Game 7. Were the Pacers robbed? No, the Thunder deserve to win that championship. That's how I'll leave it. We covered Cooper Flagg and all that. But guys, as always, make sure to follow us on YouTube, because we're going to be dropping this episode soon. We covered the WNBA as well. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.